96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and for all my YouTubers, don't forget to like and subscribe. And welcome to another Black Friday. Okay, fellas, I came across a story that inspired today's episode, and after reading it, I thought to myself, who in the hell painted the narrative that black people are lazy? When you think of whites and Hispanic, they're not viewed as a lazy race. But for some reason, the black race is viewed as lazy, right? Based upon black people's arrival in this country and how this country was built on the backs of blacks, black people have a lot of sweat and blood equity in this country. So we're not lazy. With that being said, I want to share a story with you guys, right? But before doing so, fellas, I want to know your thoughts as to why there's a narrative about black people or black folk being lazy. Why do y'all think that?
Well, I mean, shit, it's actually kind of like an oxymoron because you got to keep in mind, when we were brought here as slaves. So, I mean, we showed and proved that, we definitely would do whatever it took because, not necessarily because we were possibly being whipped, but, we adjusted and always made a way to do whatever it is we were told to do. I mean, I'm not sure. That's just my opinion, man.
Well, I think it's more of a stereotype. If you drop first impression, so somebody could be in a certain area, and I'm not gonna lie, we have a habit of hanging out in front of stores. You think about it, you drive through the hood, it can be a random, a person of another race, just driving through, just happen to be in this neck of the woods. And if they're going to every street corner, every corner store, and there's always a black person hanging out, you don't see that in other races just hanging out outside of a store unless it's a Starbucks. Then you'll see other races. But a regular corner store, so and it will leave an impression on anybody like, damn, that's all you got to do is I see y'all at this. I just went this way. I've been going down this way for about 2 hours. I come back, you still in front of that same corner store. So just because they're
hanging out makes them lazy?
Well, it will give an impression. I ain't gonna say it makes them lazy, but it was like, damn, don't you got a job? It's 2. It was 2 o'clock when I seen you. It's 4 o'clock. You still in the same store hanging out, and it's 4 o'clock on a Tuesday. 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, you just hang out in front of a store. What you holding up the store for? Do you work there? No. So it's an impression
it's the spot.
It's
the spot.
I know, but you got to think it's public. So if people are viewing that, and everything, it's not just one corner store it's happening to. If multiple corner stores, and it's always only black people that love to hang out at the gas station and the corner stores, that would entail, and it's broad daylight, 1, 2, 10 o'clock in the morning, 11, 1, 2 in the afternoon, and the same Negroes are at the corner store. That would entail, say, well, why are you not working? Do you work? You don't work at the store. Why are you always here? And we'll seem to be the only races of people that do that.
I got you.
So I had a thought that would have really made a point, but I couldn't really hear it myself. But I wish I was able to say it right now, but it totally went completely away.
Well, could it possibly? Hopefully, this will jog your memory. I don't know, but I kind of see where Comedian 96 is coming from in regards to lazy. But I also probably think that the narrative is painted that we're a lazy race because of the hour of the day in which someone should be at work.
Correct.
They're not working, right? But I would question that other race who see us, why your ass ain't at work?
Maybe they on their lunch break. That's what I'm saying. They could be driving on their lunch break, or finna go pay a bill, or finna go take care of some business. Just so happen they gotta drive down a certain street where there's a bunch of corner stores in the hood.
Here it is. My feeling of why we are looked at as lazy, not necessarily being lazy. but being lazy in certain areas such as family and togetherness. We lazy in that department.
Yes.
In a sense, that's why I feel we're labeled lazy.
That too.
Okay, so I get it. So now it's story time. Let me share a story with you guys. In 1945, American forces had an unexpected problem. Amidst the chaos of World War II, more than 2 years of letters had piled up in a tremendous backlog of approximately 17 million pieces of mail. Many letters and packages had only the first name of the intended recipient. Many had common names or nicknames on the packages. The U.S. government figured the issue could be resolved within 6 months. So they deployed a group known as the 88th Central Postal Director Battalion, also called by the nickname 6888. So with that being said, what y'all just heard, tell me your thoughts on only what you just heard.
688. A bunch of eights in there.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
I asked you guys about being lazy. And why do they paint the narrative for being lazy? Why they paint it being lazy? Y'all know this episode is Black Friday, so y'all know we're talking about black folk.
Right.
Then y'all just heard me say that there was a 2-year backlog of U.S. mail, overseas in World War II. These soldiers was over there. So 2 years of backlog mail, over 17 million pieces of mail. So with the information that you guys have, knowing that it's Black Friday, knowing that I just talked about why do y'all think we're painted lazy, then I just shared that portion of a story with you, just that portion only. I'm going to go in more detail, but I wanted to know what your guys' thought was so far.
So what, blacks were in the mail room? Running the mail back
Yeah,
then?
that's what I was wondering.
If they didn't have nothing to do with the mail, then, were those black people in the mail room?
Okay. So now, let me add a little bit more context to the story. The 6888 Battalion was a group of 855 black women. They became the first and only all-female black U.S. Army Corps unit to serve overseas during World War II. Their motto was, no male, low morale. The battalion was organized into 5 companies: the headquarters, Company A, Company B, Company C, and Company D. Most of those women worked as postal clerks. Others worked as cooks. Others worked as mechanics and other supporting positions so that they can function as a self-sufficient unit. Now, when they arrived overseas, because this is World War II that they're going to help, when they arrived overseas to do their task, there was a white general. He attempted to send a white officer to tell them how to do the job right. But the head of all of the women told the white officer, and I quote, "Sir, over my dead body, sir." Now let me put a pin in that statement right there. "Sir, over my dead body, sir." Here's what I think she really probably want to say. Motherfucker, y'all fucked up in the first place. If y'all wasn't fucked up, we wouldn't have had to come over in this motherfucker to do the job right. Now get the fuck up out of my goddamn face so I can do my goddamn job. Don't come over here and tell me what the fuck to do.
Possibly.
Possibly.
But here was my question. So some of those women worked in the postal service, right?
Yeah, there were. It was 855 of them.
Now, does that explain why the mail didn't get there on time?
No. So I'll go deeper.
Because they worked in the post office, right?
No.
Delivering mail.
They actually worked as they were in the army. They were actually in the Army, right? And the U.S. had a backlog of mail going over to the troops in World War II. They were in the States.
Right.
This mail is backlogged overseas.
Somewhere else. Okay.
So you had male people in the military, but you also had the mailing system for the particular country that they were in to get this mail to the troops too, right? All work hand in hand. So they called these women over, and the women went over there, right? So let me add a little bit more context to the story, right? So, but before I do that, let me ask y'all, what do y'all think the thought process was for them to come up with their motto? Now, this is World War II, and their motto was no mail, low morale. What do you think the thought process of why they came up with that?
No mail. Okay, you got to think about it. No mail, low morale. So you cutting off all communications from my loved ones, my parents, my if somebody got kids, from everybody, everyone. Some people that care about you, care packages. You remember when we was in the military, they used to get them care packages, and what kind of morale? I'm gonna be ready to fight everybody. Well, I was ready to fight when I was in the military anyway, even with my packages. But that's another story. But you'll be ready to fight if you can't get a letter or a love or good smelling package with the letters. You know how they spray the perfume on it, and you waiting on that motherfucker, you waiting in your bunk, and you got your never mind. But you know where I'm going with it, and then you don't know. You don't know. But so I'm getting emotional just talking about it. You ain't giving me my mail.
Okay, so the bottom line.
Hold on. I just want to make sure I understand. So the motto is no mail, low morale. So they were intentionally holding this mail?
No. It's backlog 2 years.
It was backlog. It was a 2-year backlog. I'm going to go deep in the story. I'm cutting the story to get y'all thoughts on what I said so far. So no, they wasn't intentionally holding the mail.
Okay, so
it's World War II. It was during World War II, and that was just a backlog.
Okay, I was just
of
trying
mail.
to think if that the motto had anything to do with.
No, well, the motto was these ladies coming from these 855 ladies, and their motto is, "Hey, no mail, low morale," and these are the troops that they're waiting to get their mail. So now that a comedian 96 shared his thoughts as in regards to the motto, coming up with the motto. So, Army officials believed that undelivered mail was hurting morale. The 6888 implemented their own system to handle the backlog of mail. This included creating and maintaining an index card of people with the same name or similar names using military serial numbers to distinguish between them. They worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in 3 shifts, processing and delivering mail. It was a morale booster to the troops. Each shift handled an estimated 65,000 pieces of mail. In total, the unit handled mail for over 4 million military and civilians, and cleared backlog in the UK and France. The battalion finished with what was supposed to be a 6 months task. They completed it in 3 months.
So they did their thing.
Yep. So full confession though, for real. You know, I I was in Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and those packages. You know I'll be laughing and joking all the time, but for real, when I was out in the Persian Gulf, out there months at a time, and I'm seeing the same dudes every day, I'm angry. But I'm gonna tell you, a care package from your mom or your loved ones with the cereal in there and the good food that you can't get, man, when I say that would carry you some months, and you need that type of stuff. So in World War II, I don't know if I would have made it, because that's the only way I made it through really through the Persian Gulf was because of that, man. Because you be having a bad day, And then you know when you hear there was a certain plane you would hear, it was loud as hell. It sounded like damn near a helicopter when it's landing, and you knew that was the mail. You knew it. So all you had to do is wait about 3 hours, and the mail call, because they sort that mail so fast when they come off that plane. So when you hear that plane come down on the aircraft carrier, man, it's the best relief, because it's food and mail, man. I'm telling you, that is messed up that they went that long, 2 years with no mail.
Okay.
I don't know what I would have done.
So now y'all know that it's 855 black women, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, let me ask y'all, how do y'all think the government came to the conclusion to send all black women? Now, keep in mind, this is during World War II. How do y'all think that the government said, let's send all these black women over here to do this?
Well,
what do y'all thought?
I think that they felt like they wouldn't have to send the sons if they sent the women over there, because there wouldn't be no kids.
Like I said in one other show, I think women are better organizers, better thinkers. They would have organized better. That's why I think they sent that many.
But
That's
why
what I
all
said.
black?
We're great. Black is great.
I mean,
that's the only thing I can say. I don't know what else to say it. I mean,
that's a
hey,
good question, bro.
I'm just saying. We're thinkers. We're organized. We're natural. That's naturally what women do. They would organize that shit and get it done.
So-
Wait, back up. You said we.
I said she. Oh,
Yeah, you say that's what
well,
we do.
blacks. Oh,
No.
I'm not me. I'm not me. We.
When you,
No,
when you
not-
said women, you said we.
We. Not we. Black is.
Yeah, you did actually say.
You
know,
said-
Really?
That's what women do.
Really?
That's
You
what
gonna
we
really-
do. I'm
really?
just saying.
That's what women
I'm not a
do.
we. That's what women. I said I was playing we.
Okay, so check this out. Y'all gonna be surprised at this. So, behind the scenes, there were people actually pushing for their deployment. Now, check this out. These women were in the army now. These women were already in the army. And there were people behind the scenes pushing for their deployment. One of the people is Mary Jane McLeod Bethune. She worked to get the support of the First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt. Now, do y'all know who Mary Jane McLeod Bethune is?
I have heard that name. I just can't remember what she did. Yes, I do. I
And
just can't
she the
remember.
lady that started, what is it called? Parenthood, parenthood, something.
Okay, so let me tell you. Mary Jane McLeod Bethune. Now, amongst other things she's done, here's one of the things that she done. She founded the Daytona Education of Industrial Training School for Negro Girls in 1904. Now, have y'all ever heard of HBCU, Bethune-Cookman University?
Yeah.
You have, K-Money?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's who she's not.
Yeah, it
It's named
sounds
after her.
familiar to me.
So her Mary Jane McLeod Bethune, her school merged with Cookman Institute, thus creating the HBCU, Bethune-Cookman University. Now, in addition to her pushing for the troops to go over there, you had black newspapers. They challenged the U.S. Army to use black women in a meaningful job in the Army. Now think about it. These black women were already in the Army, so apparently their jobs weren't really meaningful. So the black newspaper pushed for them to have meaningful jobs in the Army. So actually, there were black folks pushing for them to go over. There were black folks doing that. And if you think about it, man, I'm thinking a little bit deeper. We're talking about World War II, which began in 1939 and ended in 1945. Y'all know women didn't have rights then.
Yeah, right.
Now, women didn't have rights. Now, just add the fact that these were black women.
Racism was definitely in full effect.
And you also know that if women didn't have rights and these were black women, well, black folk period, didn't get their rights until 1964.
Right.
So now, with that being said, y'all may recall me actually telling y'all a little bit earlier about a white general attempting to send over a white officer to tell the ladies how to do their job.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Y'all recall that?
Yes.
And then one of the ladies in charge said, "Sir, over my dead body, sir." Mm-hmm. Well, that's the subject of our black fact. Lieutenant Colonel Charity Adams. She was born December 5th, 1918, and died January 13th, 2002. She was the first African American woman to be an officer in the U.S. Army Corps. She was the commanding officer of the 1st Battalion of Black American women to serve overseas during World War II. She was the highest ranking African American woman in the Army by the end of World War II. Now that's our black fact you can't take back. This concludes another dope episode of Black Friday. Tune in next week for Music Monday. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and for all my YouTubers, don't forget to like and subscribe. This concludes another dope episode of Black Friday. Tune in tomorrow for Music Monday. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and for all my YouTubers, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And remember, the only way we grow is if you let them know.